So what'd you think of this big old butterball?
Pretty.
Was it delicious? Was it buttery and good?
Yeah, but I covered it with my own butter too, like a whole stick of butter.
Oh boy!
Some sage, some rosemary.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, the whole mix.
So how many people did you have over for this turkey dinner?
20.
I wasn't invited.
I did invite you.
Did you?
You said you were working.
Fair enough. Oh wow. So everyone got turkey. Was there leftover turkey?
Oh yeah, I got a lot left over.
How much left over?
Like a really big Tupperware of the meat I wanted, and then my sister went through and got another big Tupperware of the meat that I found less ideal.
So the dark meat.
The dark meat and the meat you really have to work for.
Okay.
Still probably okay. And then we threw the carcass out.
What did you just throw it in the trash can?
Yeah.
Put it back in the trash can that you had in the night before?
Yeah, give it back to nature.
Yeah. Matthew, what have you been doing with your extra turkey? Just warming it up, putting a little gravy on it?
Really, I'm just going to the fridge every time I pass by and I grab a handful of it, salt it, and then I just eat it cold around the house.
Ease up on the salt, Matthew.
It's so good with salt.
See, this is what I do with turkey.
What do you do?
Warm it up a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise. Lettuce. Cheese. Maybe a little pepper.
No salt?
Well, no, the mayonnaise is already in there. The cheese is already in there.
I guess you salt the mayonnaise and you salt the cheese. So you don't
Exactly.
have to salt the turkey.
Well, there's salted lettuce, of course. Well, no, I mean, the turkey should have enough flavor. Not only is it a butterball, you used a whole stick of butter on it. How much salt do you need in a thing?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But
just a little warm, the turkey. Just a little.
Too much work. Got a lot of turkey to eat. I don't have time to warm it up.
Just a smidge above room temperature. Take that fistful of turkey, throw it in the microwave for 12 seconds.
Yeah, maybe. But probably not.
Give it a try. I don't know much about cooking. Yeah. I know quite a bit about sandwiches. And got a box full of recipes, so I'm going to know a little more about cooking next week, hopefully.
Yeah, you're going to be an expert pretty soon.
I'll know that I don't have enough butter at home, is what I'll know.
That butter, they gypped you on the butter.
Can I not just, I think it's because they just expect everyone to have butter at home. Can I just use margarine?
Yeah, you can use margarine.
I know some people are like purists about butter.
Butter's better.
Butter is better. It tastes better. But
margarine will do the job.
It lasts forever, margarine.
Yeah.
And you know what? They let it be yellow now. They changed the laws in Quebec. For a long time, they were like, you can't make yellow margarine. Let's go compete with the butter. Make it white. And then a few years ago, they said, fine, yellow. Well, who cares? Butter's butter. Butter's better. We all know. But I'm like, margarine's cheap.
Yeah. And isn't it like 1% away from not being actually considered food? Isn't it more plastic than food?
It's basically oils.
Yeah. But I think they said it was one ingredient away from becoming like hard plastic.
Interesting.
Something like that. But still, Fabio doesn't mind.
He can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that means he doesn't mind.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess not.
That's how you get a body like Fabio, too.
That's
just eat
butter.
tons of margarine.
Lots of margarine and butter. Is it by eating it or just rubbing it on his chest?
Probably both. I think you eat it and then you eat it bare hands and then you rub your hands on your chest just to get rid of it.
Well, I mean that's how he's got such supple skin, I assume.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually in shape. I think it's just if you glisten.
He's got a good tan and glisten. That's about it.
Yeah.
Matthew, you were talking to me earlier about Christmas movies.
Oh yeah.
And some things that you just don't believe in them.
I love them, but they're just so bad.
And we're not talking about like, Miracle on 34th Street and you're like, I don't believe they was really Santa. And how did Santa impregnate that girl's mom?
Yeah. The judicial system didn't believe it was Santa. Did they believe it was Santa in the end?
I think at the end they did.
They proved it?
That's why it's a miracle.
Cold hard fact?
Well, they don't really need to, as long as they fool a jury.
Yeah. Fool the jury. That's the key. They pick their jury wisely.
Yeah, exactly. These are a bunch of dummies, gullible dummies. We can prove anything to them if we make them believe.
Yeah.
This really is an open shut case.
Do you believe in the Easter Bunny? Yes. It's like, you're on. Yeah. No, I've been watching Jingle All the Way, Christmas with the Cranks, the B tier of Christmas movies.
Yeah, not the classics, just the other ones that they've made.
Yeah, and they're so infuriating.
No, go on. Why was Christmas with the Cranks infuriating? I've never seen the movie.
I don't. It's just the way they acted was unrealistic. It's a little too. There were sound effects in it. In a movie that shouldn't have sound effects, and then every now and then there's a sound effect of like a boing.
Like Good Burger.
Yeah, that called for sound effects. That called for anything to distract you from the actual film.
I think you're changing your tune on Good Burger finally.
It's time has let me see it for what it really is. I didn't buy the relationship between Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
Tim Allen, I don't like him. But
you don't like Tim Allen?
Not really, but Jamie Lee Curtis, I didn't buy their relationship at all. And it made me very sad. Because they didn't seem like they really loved each other. It made it seem like they were just in it because they had a kid and they had to stay together. But they also acted like people who didn't quite have all of their brain capacity.
Go on.
If that's a good way to put it. I'm
curious. I haven't seen this movie, so please fill me in a little bit.
Basically, they decide they're skipping Christmas.
Okay.
And then the whole town kind of goes AWOL. Not AWOL. They go mad because it's like, what? You can't skip Christmas? You can't just do it? And the leader of the block is Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
And he's not...
I like Dan Aykroyd. I like young Dan Aykroyd. I've fallen out of love with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah. Big Dan Aykroyd. Old Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
It's not the Dan Aykroyd of my youth. He still sounds like him. But he's very very adamant about them not skipping it. Mm-hmm. So he's really pushing himself into trying to get into the house and open the garage door. We'll set up your decorations.
Okay.
And Jamie Lee Curtis has no backbone.
Okay.
She's literally crawling around upstairs in her house, peeking through the windows, calling her husband at work, who's got a real job, who's working for the family, and being like, "You have to come over here. They're outside the house. They want the snowman." And he's like,
"What do you mean they want the snowman? They have a snowman made in their front yard?
One of the decorations. They want like the big ceramic snowman in our garage so they can set him up for us."
So wait. So Dan Aykroyd is breaking into Tim Allen's house to decorate it?
Well, he wants to decorate the outside. He just like leave the snowman and all the rest of the decorations on the front lawn, and we'll set it up for you. But she is terrified, and she's crawling around. At one point, Tim Allen says, "Just sneak out of the house. Try to get out of the house."
Well, yeah, because his insane neighbors are breaking into his home.
They're not breaking in, though. They're being very cordial about it. They're
just at the door, like knocking, like, "Hey, we'd love to set it up for you." And they're like, "Oh God, he's back."
Basically, it's I can see it as them being cordial, but her just through her eyes, it seems like they're coming at her with pitchforks and flaming torches, and they're tearing down the walls. But I feel like she didn't seem mentally stable, and I don't understand the relationship.
Well, now some people just don't like answering the door. I know I don't. I used to peer out my window. At my new apartment, I feel like I'm more ready to see what's up.
You're braver.
I'm a little braver now. I live alone now. I can't pass it off to someone else. I have to be. But I know maybe this is instilled from you from a young age. At home, sometimes the doorbell would ring and my mom would be like, "Be quiet. Don't go to the door."
Sense.
And it would be like, it could be anything. They could be encyclopedia salesmen or something like that back before the internet. Or definitely on weekends, Jehovah's Witnesses. My mom would be like, "Stay away from the windows.
Yeah.
Be quiet." And I've talked to my mom maybe in the past 2 weeks, and she mentioned another situation where like someone rang the doorbell and she was just like peering through the window from a distance, going like, "Oh no, I didn't want to answer the door. I didn't know who they were." I think that's generally a good strategy. If you're not expecting someone to come ring at your door, don't answer. Who could it be?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Could be a murderer
ringing the front door.
I mean, my new strategy now works better in the summer than the winter. Is someone rings the doorbell, just run down, greet them without a shirt on, looking all flustered, and then they're like, "Oh, do you have a minute?" I'm like, No, I'm in the middle of something." And then they're like, "Oh, I guess it's pretty serious. He's not even wearing a shirt. Must be, either I'm getting ready for work, or my other excuse is I've got food on the stove right now. I can't give you a minute. It's gonna burn."
But then they must be like, "Well, why did you answer the door?"
Because someone was ringing the doorbell. What's going on?
And then they tell you, it's like, back at our place, someone rings the door and we don't want to answer. We don't answer.
I'd be like, "Well, you know what? You're right. I should have gone back to my old ways."
Yeah. The Jehovah's Witnesses, though, they don't care what you look like. They don't care what's going on. They don't care if you're shirtless. They'll just...
I'm shirtless, just holding up a towel, going like, they're like, "Do you have time for Jesus?" I'm like, "Ah, it's just not not now."
And then they tell
I don't
you,
even have pants. They're like, "Well, you need to. Jesus would give you pants." I'm like, "Oh,
I think they cut you off before, as you're saying no. It's like, it was a trick question. Everyone has time for Jesus.
God."
And then they invite themselves into your home, and you make them some tea.
I'm just still there, my towel,
Yeah.
all dripping wet, going making them some tea, going like, "Will I have chamomile or lemon ginger?"
It's like, and just to let you know, I'm not becoming a Jehovah's Witness today. So,
But I will offer you some tea.
yeah.
Please give me a minute to get dressed.
Yeah, my mother was always like that too. Always don't answer the door, whether it be Girl Scouts delivering cookies or. And I found it insulting to a point because I was a Boy Scout and I would have to sell magazine subscriptions.
You're
or,
like, "I've been there. I
Yeah.
want to open that door." But is it
we
easier?
know they're there. We know
Is
you're
it?
there.
Oh, do you?
Well, cars in the driveway. It's it's near supper time. I would go when I knew people were home too.
Yeah, I suppose so. Now, Matthew, is it better to you when you ring a doorbell and no one comes to the door, or when you ring a doorbell and they go, "No, no, I don't care, no."
Yeah, I like that
Yeah?
because I at least could smell what their house smells like.
That is a weird reason.
That's the only reason I would go door to door is because there's so many interesting house smells, and when you open it up and you're like, "Oh, they're making a stew," or these people have carpets, and like it's really the warmth.
These people have carpets.
You could smell what a house with carpet smells like. I think it's warmer, cozier.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that was.
Depends on how often they vacuum those
Yeah,
carpets.
I guess so. That's what I remember the most about Halloween evenings and going door to door to sell
Smelling rugs.
subscriptions. Is just basically, yeah.
So, Matthew,
Yeah.
with our burgers today, we also got some waffle fries.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the waffle fries?
Don't like waffle fries.
Did
Don't
you
like hash browns. Don't like waffle fries. These were. They weren't bad, but they were just. You got so few.
Yeah.
Your waffle fries didn't even look particularly waffly.
I'll be honest, I was very jealous of your waffle fries. You had these big waffle fries, almost the size of your burger sized waffle fries. And I had just like pieces of waffle fry.
Yeah.
They didn't even look like waffles. They just looked like 3 lines. Yours had a whole crisscrossy action.
Yeah, I had some good grids.
Yeah. Now, you also went to the extent of putting honey and mayonnaise together for your waffle fries.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever done this before, but heck, it tasted good.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to do with waffle fries. You can't really fit them in. But
Yeah, you
regular
can't dip them
fries,
into your little cup.
Do it all the time.
Now, so these waffle fries you didn't care for, or were they better than your traditional waffle fries to you?
Because they were a little better.
What kind of waffle fries have you ever had in the past?
They were thicker ones from Sackwitches, and I believe there's one other place. Not too many places offer waffle fries.
No,
you kind of want to
maybe a
try them.
McCain's waffle fries or something like that?
Oh, I hate those especially.
Yeah, okay, all
Make
right.
it make
Sorry, I
yourself.
didn't really struck a nerve with that one.
Because they're basically hash browns,
Yeah.
and I don't want them. I don't want them in my mouth.
All right. All right. Well, fair enough.
So I did it today because it was part of the holiday experience. And
Yeah.
I don't know what about this burger or any of it was holiday-y.
So yeah, let's get into the burger a little
Yeah.
bit. And you picked it up, and basically the first thing you noticed was the underside had a weird pattern.
Yeah.
It was sort of like a 5-pronged star pattern with a circle in the middle.
Oh.
So it looked kind of like a snowflake. And I agree. Now, once you set it back down, you're like, well, I guess the top's kind of the same. I guess that's just kind of how this bun is. It's a different kind of bun.
Yeah.
That had something on top, actually. I'm not even sure what those were on top.
Is it to mimic snowflakes?
Yeah, I guess.
I really don't feel like they put enough effort into it. Like, I feel like this is all stuff we're speculating.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
It is not.
There were some like sprinkly things on top that I really have no clue what they were.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I didn't think that much about it while I was eating the burger. But anyway, you said it looked a little like a snowflake, and then put it down, and we sort of agreed that no, they probably didn't put that much thought into the burger.
Yeah.
It was covered in some sort of snowflakey looking thing. It looked nice. It looked kind of like a holiday burger. It had some red and green with the bacon. It wasn't strips, it was bits. I actually kind of liked quite a bit.
Yeah.
Cheese, just regular orange cheddar cheese, and a little sauce that was basically mayonnaise. What did you think of this burger, Matthew?
Didn't really like it. I didn't